Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland, and today on my YouTube I wanted to share what I'm doing here in the studio today. So I wanted to quickly show you some of the art frames that I got for some artwork I have here. So I've popped into the local Hobbycraft, not sponsored, and I got some frames and I'm really excited about them. So let me start off this session by showing you that. So let's have a look. So here I have some of them laid out. I got these frames that I think will go really well with these art pieces. I really love the way this looks. It's going to be so exciting to have this done and ready and in the shop. So I'm really excited about these. Let me see. And then I've got this one as well. So that was a fun drive this morning after the school drop off to go and pick these up. And I'm hoping I'll be able to do this a bit more. I still have a whole range of other artwork that I want to order frames for. So I've got them all out here and I was kind of counting how many of them I have that I still need to get frames for. And I just need to bite the bullet and get these all organized because I want them to be able to just go straight into the shop whenever I need to, and I need to think about that instead of procrastinating. So I've already spent the morning recording a TikTok and creating this little cutie here, and I really love how I added some of the copper leaf on this one. And so yeah, I just wanted to show them how I create some of my stag pieces, because I had some here as well that I framed as well. If I can get them organized, let me just set this in here. So I have these framed as well. I got these frames as well for this piece, so you can see. So I'm really excited to get this organized and get this frame set as well. So I got a frame for that one and a frame for this one as well. So these are my original pieces that I want to get sorted out and ready for going into the shop. So that was what I spent some of my time doing today. But what do I want to share with you guys here on the studio live today? I had fun creating this stag, and as I said, you can check it out on my TikTok, which is Beatrice Ajayi Artist. But I am going to be working on a different subject for this session, so I won't be working on this stag or a similar one, but as I said, you can check it out on my TikTok. But I'm going to be working on a portrait for this session, so I'm just going to put this little guy to the side. There we go. And I'm going to get out a sketchbook that I wanted to paint over this piece here. I don't really like the way this looks, so I'm just going to set you up here on my overhead filming arm and get started, because I wanted to have a session of like about 1 hour maybe for this session. So I want to get some portraits done. What examples can I show you of some portraits I've done already before? Actually, let me see. So I have a whole range of like really fun paintings that I've done before, and these are mostly landscapes, these ones. But I was trying to find some portraits because I was trying to think if I wanted to paint over portraits I've already done or if I wanted to start afresh. So, here they are. Looking at the wrong place. So I have sketches that I've done previously, and I was really tempted to go ahead and paint these sketches, but I thought I would just do brand new ones and work on something similar to this piece, which I really love. It's really colorful. So I wanted to see what kind of portrait I could do today. So I'm just looking through some of my sketchbook to see, and I really love the way these backgrounds are for these pieces. So what I'm noticing here that I need to remind myself of is that I went in with some of my dark blue, Prussian blue, to outline the face. I've got sketches here, thinking if I should work on some of those. So some of these you might see here on my actual channel, my YouTube already, that I had time lapses or shorts with these on them. But a lot of sketches like this that I really love and probably should have been painting instead of trying to start something brand new. But let's see, what else do I have here? So I was thinking to spend maybe about 30 minutes to an hour here on this to create some artwork. So I'm just going to take some time. I really love my sketches here. Oh, I think there's someone at the door. I'll be right back. Of course, when I'm home alone is when I end up getting an actual call at the door by the postman. But yeah, I wanted to just have a look quickly here at what else I have painted previously. I really love the saturated fluorescent colors that I use here, and I need to order some more of that paint because it really livened up a lot of my paintings. And I love the drawings that I have here. This is in keeping of where I want to head my art towards. Very illustrative, but painterly looking. So these are like the foundations of what I want to create, but I will be adding colors to them. So a lot of different drawings I have in this sketchbook of ideas, and it's just to implement them. So let's see. So my whole idea is eventually to bring in animals as well into my sketches. So I have like a tiger here that I've kind of illustrated, and then focused on some tiger sketches here. And let's see what else. So thank you for joining me. If it's the first time you've ever been here, my name is Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland, and I am trying to share more of what I'm doing in my studio. So I am looking through my sketchbooks and trying to remind myself of the different journeys and subject matters that I have been looking at and trying to interpret them in my own way. So a lot of these drawings are ideas I've had that I've spent time sketching, and I really want to dig into taking way more time in my painting to be able to express these to their entirety, to like the fullness of where these are. So if I am saying that I'm going to start off with a page that is this complicated, it might not actually work that well. So I might put that aside and actually look at how I can build on a sketch instead. So this is what I am looking at. So I have a whole range of sketches in here that I have been working on as well previously, looking at details for like illustrated big cats, trying to get myself used to drawing them. And I really love the time I spent doing this one with a coloring pencil. So I'm trying to think what I want to do for today on this live. I did this yesterday, which I really love, with watercolor. And I'm thinking maybe I should do something like that again today, is work on some more watercolor. So I would probably start with sketching first of all. So let's try and get some sketching done and work out how I can get some of those details I was thinking about. I really love doing portraits, to be honest, but I am still trying to work out how I want the portraits to work for me. So that is the main dilemma. Trying to use straight lines to get them situated. So hi guys, welcome to my YouTube. I am trying to spend some time here with you guys, just in my studio and working away at ideas that could inspire me and visions that I have that I want to be able to express, different subject matter that I want to be able to explore, and just working on that here in the studio. getting my chair so I could sit down, so it can be a bit more comfortable and relaxed. So as I'm in the studio, I just always am thinking, right, what could I do? What fun could I have? And I'm trying to slow down a little bit actually. So the more lives I'm doing, I'm learning what pace I can be going at and how to manage myself. So, and then being able to do only what I can do and not think too much about it. But always just letting my abstracted aspect come into things as well. I love to do like quite a bit of abstraction actually. Trying to be loose, not spending too much time, not trying to overthink things. Quick gestures. And adding the ideas I have in my own expression. So always experimenting to try and see. So I can get the sketch to a certain level and then I will go from there. So here I've been saying that I have this bird, which is kind of like it's inserted here because it's kind of her thoughts. The bird represents her thoughts, her private space of conversation, and also kind of like a symbiotic symbolism as well of living with the environment in a cohesive way. So that's just a quick explanation of possibly why I add the birds in the head of my characters. I've always done this even with my illustrated work where I would add the birds into the heads of the animals that I would sketch. So I'm trying to figure out ways of adding this that it is more, not disguised, but kind of more embedded in what it is that I'm sketching. So if I add some flowers here and very symbolic, illustrated, surrealist kind of manner of working with my art. So if you have any questions about what it is that I'm doing, please do add it to the comments and I will hopefully be able to get back to you on those. I am still trying to work out how this all works with doing lives and being able to respond to what people are asking. So I love to add also like butterflies or bees into areas of the conversation. So like bees, let's add a bee here. So some writing coming up there. I like to put gestural writing, so I'm trying to think what else I like to add to things. So I like to add flowers as well. So I'm trying to see where to add this flower in this whole conversation. And I'm feeling like it's here that it's coming in. and maybe not just one as well. I might add more than one, but let me just see how I feel. Where would I add it? Closer to the eye, another one here. In a different size, not the same size. So be that there. Some shadow under this. I think what else I like to add. So I've got some of the gestural writing. I've got my bee. I've got the flower, the floral, so portraiture, wildlife, floral, all in. And then I can come in with some other details. So let's see if I can add some watercolor or acrylic. Let's try the acrylic I've got here. And this might change it quite a bit. Let's see, I've got smaller brushes around here. I'm looking for a detailed brush. Actually, right, okay, I'll use this for now. So this is actually acrylic I'm using to add this in. And taking my time. I move around my canvas a lot, or my sketchbook a lot, because I don't want to kind of like dwell on one area. My brush is quite dry because I want it to dry quickly, and also I don't want it to be wet for longer. I have a whole range of brushes here yesterday. Let me just check. Right, this brush is better, I think. Let's see. So I think I was using some watercolor yesterday and I felt really relaxed with it. Once you go into acrylic, it's a different kind of pressure. So let's see. And next. So add in these flowers. It's like every day I just like to have like a gestural way of creating it. It's like my hands need to feel this repetitive movement, or I feel like I'm missing something. So it feels really good to be able to just be loose. To just kind of draw in your sketchbook. And all of this informs like just our general everyday creativity, so nothing is wasted. So I really love doing this because all of it is useful. You can scratch into it, to mess around with this to kind of roughen it up and add other kind of textures. I've got, right, so my bird is peeking out here with this background that is its So I'm trying to figure out how to do this abstractly, where I put this bird in and it's just around here, but trying to make it look cute and not like it is very, very strange or too surreal and becomes a distraction. So adding some water. So I'm kind of using this acrylic paint like it is watercolor actually. That's so some areas are just really light. Like for the right hand, this is still acrylic paint. It's just very light. I like the blue and the purple together as well. This is quite nice. My bee has gone missing in here. So let's try and add that bee in. Little eyes. So I can use bigger brushes to make some other adjustments, like let me see. I'm gonna use this flat brush in some areas, really water down the acrylic. And another thing is that this is not watercolor paper, so I've noticed that it does start to tear or bubble. So my strokes are going to be very limited. I'm not going to overdo my strokes. Let me just test this out. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to overdo my strokes, but I'm going to go over this area here, over her eye, and just play with this. Let's see what this looks like. There's an interesting mark made there. I'll do another one and deeper here to kind of show. So if you wait for the lines to dry, it's like I just like actually the way this is. I'm gonna use a smaller brush for what I want to do next. So I'm adding shadow into areas without doing too much. So I'm just using the same color. I'm gonna add shadow into like her nose area here. To this area here. So just trying to so it's interesting. So I like that. That's very interesting shape there that has been made. I'm trying to think what else I would want to add to this. With maybe my detailed brush. Maybe in the eye a bit. See what this looks like. Right, I've got tissue here. I'm not sure about that. Taking away some of the excess. Right, see, for the mount, what am I gonna do? So this is, as I said, acrylic paint, and it's just building layers on this and just taking my time and using one color and not stressing myself out and basically drawing with this one color. And overlapping the conversation and all sorts of stuff. I like to add butterflies as well, but where would I add that now? Because I'm looking at this here separately would have been cool, but I'm gonna blend it in here into this area. Yeah, I'm covered. So a butterfly here. So welcome if this is your first time here. My name is Beatrice Ajayi. I am an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland, and I love to share what I get up to in my art studio, painting away or creating whatever comes to my mind. I love to use different mediums and create kind of illustrative work or paintings. You can see the variety I do here on my channel at Bea Creative TV, so please do check it out. But I really enjoy just spending time seeing what the different mediums can do, because I love to use different mediums and create artwork. So that is what I'm doing right now, is just playing around with my mediums using just Persian blue acrylic paint and just creating this character and using different tools to apply the paint. So I'm learning about the paint, I'm learning about what it can do, the different textures, layers. So you can use acrylic paint really thickly or you can use it thinly. You can water it down, and that's, I mean, if there's so many ways to do it, and when you're watering it down, you could put in different mediums into it to make it more to hold together better, more archival. So I said this paper is not watercolor paper, so I'm being very gentle with it, and I'm letting my strokes just be singular strokes, nothing nothing permanent, and I mean nothing too hard. And I am using acrylic. If I was using watercolor and I go over and over some of these marks, they will come off. So I am deciding that I want to use acrylic for this. I was going to use watercolor originally, but I changed my mind. So I am drawing with acrylic paint and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And taking my time with this portrait. And adding details that I want to be able to be adding to my portraits. Taking my time. I don't want to rush it. Building layers. I could add other colors to this, but I'm just using only Persian blue mainly. There was a green that I'd used as well, but it's mainly Persian blue and just going over layers over and over again. And it's a very illustrated piece. If you check out my site, check out my channel, I have a whole range of works that I create here on my channel. And I wanted to be able to share a bit more of what I do in my studio. I like to explore different ideas and that allows me to create a variety of pieces that interest me because I'm using different mediums, different tools. So this is just one color, and I'm trying to see what I can get from spending the time on just this one color. I'm trying to think what else I could add to this to make it interesting or more interesting. I could add pattern to it. So what kind of pattern would I add to it? Let's see. I could add more pattern. I'll keep thinking about it. What else could I add to this to make it some more, you know, dynamic? You could add words to these. I am trying to think of a range of stickers as well that I'm going to create, and it's kind of going to be in the vein of having portraiture like this, illustrated portraiture with words like "you are enough," all sorts of different words. So really taking my time to I'm always thinking that I'd like to add circles, different dimensions and values of things. So I can use bigger, different brushes. Whole range of brushes, and then also other tools. So I could use a palette knife. First I want to use this one. Let's see what this does. What is it that I'm gonna do with this? Maybe pull it up. So one big brush, turn it sideways, and just add that. So like that. And then I could put lines on it. So I'm scratching with the back of my brush, and those areas where I've scratched, basically the paint is seeping into those lines and really giving it some more texture there as well. See a palette knife. So I have this smaller palette knife here that I could use, and I'm trying to think what I could do with it. If I added some of this, my creamy color, and then added some blue in it, I could create something there. Or down here, maybe up here. Yeah, no, just here so that we can see what it is I'm thinking about. Right, a bit more of the blue so we can see the impact of what I'm thinking, like a marbly effect. So that's with the palette knife. And then you can scratch into this as well. Let's see. It's very subtle. Just scratching into it. I'll take this closer so you can see. So I've scratched into this. Actually, you can also, with my toothpick here, I could write into that as well. Like the same gestural writing marks in here. I could have done that. So you can use different scratching implements to scratch into the artwork. What other tools do I have? I have this rolling one. So if I wanted to roll a certain color into this, and try and think, I'm gonna use some of the actual ultramarine, the Prussian blue, really dark color, and maybe go into this background here. So that's another mark made there. Maybe put that over here as well. So different textures that you can add into the page. Like I said, just Prussian blue and working away with the detailed brush and add into areas. So yeah, just building and building on this. But this has been fun doing this page. I'm trying to think what else I could do. I might do maybe another stag. I'm just gonna check with my timer how long I have left on my timer, because I didn't look at my time here, but maybe I'll just start something and see where it goes. But I really enjoyed painting this piece. Portrait, and it was fun, so I could start another portrait on what I wanted to originally, because I've just felt this out, and maybe add some more colors to the next one that I do. But I really like the way that this turned out. So I've got this here, and I'm going to start working on something here. And this is a darker surface, so it's going to be interesting to try and pull out something from this. So let's see how I go with this. I'm trying to do a portrait, so I'm gonna just go in with my gesso here and try cutting out a portrait. So this is gonna be a very interesting challenge. So starting to build it. And if I want the areas around it to kind of be pushed back, and then I want to add maybe the colors for the face. So I'm gonna start working on that. Should use like my flat brush for this. So I'm gonna start just working on some areas, and this is gonna be interesting. I've not tried this actually. Let's see how it goes, me trying to mix colors in here to get because it's quite dark already, so you would think, how is this gonna work? But it will have to work. I'm trying hard to figure out how. So it will take time. Art is not as quick as people think it is to make it work. It does take time. So I'm just carving this out, and you would basically let some areas dry and be working on others. So I am just carving it out. Should be able to see it a little bit now. So the eyes, the nose, the lips. And then let's see, which side is the light coming from? Because then that dictates how much brighter that side of the face will become. So with acrylic, it dries so fast, and it's really allowing me to go back and add to the conversation. So yeah. I love the flat brush. So you can see the actual, actually I'm gonna put this as, what should I do as the background? It's gonna be some colors here. So this is a face kind of cut out of what was there before, and it's just to keep on building on it and add in some other colors. The flat brush really does make a difference on how it looks. I really love the kind of structured way that it's making the profile look. So you can also scratch into this as well to get some of the textures in and keep it in an abstracted way it looks. So you don't just stick with the face, you do the background so that everything is together. There's like just layers of things together. So now this we could let it dry a little bit. Let me just put this, just heating this up. I could add spray paint into this. So I could add spray paint into this just to make it slightly different. So this is a water-based spray paint, and so I'm just gonna add it in and see where it goes. I'm not gonna be too precious about, wow. There we go. So we've got some spray paint in. Just scratch it in again. Add this to this layer. Right, let's see. I might add, I'm trying to think if I want to add anything else to this. I might add some of my gold leaf, maybe the silver one or the copper. Don't use the copper too much, so let's try the copper. It's an unusual color to bring in, but I'm going to do it. Let's add some water. Probably not what to do. Let me see. I'm gonna add some of this and this to this area here. So I'm using the shaping tool. And you can scratch into it as well. This is like supposed to be the hair, so I'll put some of that here too. It's a very interesting color. Let's see how this looks. Put that on the corner there. Just gonna throw it around. I wanted to be able to start using some of these mediums I have here. So the gold leaf, it came in a selection of silvers, gold, and copper. So I've not used the copper yet, and this is me starting to do that, and I really just love how bright it is. You have to seal it correctly, which I've just been playing and not being too precious about it, because if not, I'm not going to end up using it. So if I wanted to, I can always varnish this. But I am being free to add it into my painting. So yeah. Then once this has started drying, I can come in with some other colors. Right, I'm trying to look for some of my fluorescent colors, which I'll come to at some point. Let's see, painting here. Like on the YouTube live, I'm not seeming to be able to see, you know, comments that easily, so hopefully I'll be able to to respond to comments after, because it's kind of limiting what I can see on my view right now. So I'll come back in and try and reshape some of the areas that I had before. Add in the eyebrows. Don't want her to look too angry actually. But this can take a while to build layers and layers, and it's just to show where we can go with this. Planning, scratching into it. Let's see if I can add some white or to these areas here. So you can start to see a little bit of what I'm seeing. So start to add other colors, and once it's dry, it's easier. So building and building. So I'm trying to think. Right, okay, if we add to this side. I think I want to add some brown to this as well because I'm thinking it needs some more warm colors. Wow, okay, that was not what I planned to do. So we'll take this and add it into some other areas. That is still quite wet. I don't want to go near that if it's that wet. And as I said before, if there's something that is too much, we can always use some extra papers and take some areas away from here. So adding some browns, some shadows, and then building some layers on top of that. So we need to let some of this dry to add to it. It's very wet in areas. Because if I come in and do some work in some areas, it's going to end up just becoming one big dirty painting. So it's the best to let it settle in some areas, but I want to introduce some other colors into it still. So let's see. So I need to get some more of the saturated colors, like the fluorescents, like what I'm about to add in here. So mixing in this color into areas. And the fluorescent orange is really good for this as well, to like build up the skin tone and make it really vibrant. I think what I'll do is this corner here, I'm gonna dab it a few times because I want it to dry quite quickly. Then I can layer, like, give it a really vibrant look in this corner. As I said, it's just building the layers. I'm adding, I don't think I like this. So you take your time and it slowly builds. Trying to see if I want to add. I'll add some orange, but not yet. Let's add the pink some more. So it's very vibrant, fluorescent colors. Gonna add some yellow over here. I think I want some orange as well. Let's see. And see if I can warm up this face. And the thing is, I'll need to add some lighter other colors. So this is an orange. I'm trying to think. So I'm gonna mix some of the white in there. And this is what's gonna start bringing it into the contrast, is bringing in some white into it. It doesn't look like initially it was gonna go anywhere, but the layering for acrylic paints, it's the layering. That's what makes the difference. I think I need to add some of that yellow in a minute. So it's very vibrant colors I'm adding for the skin tone, and then I'm going to push it back with just more and more layers and claiming back some of the face as well. Like there's the ear somewhere here, it's got to be claimed back. Also, I've got to cut around that to emphasize where it is as well. So it looks a lot different from what it did at the beginning, because we have to wait for areas to dry, and that is why I've started doing this longer form of content, so that I can take my time and build layers. See there, and I'm adding some yellow that's bringing in a different warmth. I like the cool color, but so let's see. Some of it is transparent, so it's really interesting to see how it is working. I'm gonna keep building the layers, making it lighter. Mixing on my palette for some of it so that I can get some other results. It's like if we look closer, we can see some of the layering in it that's there. So yeah, we can keep on building and building and refining and refining. Because it's dried up here, it starts to let you add more of the details. Let's see. So it's best to let the rest of this dry and then we can look at it another time. But it was fun trying this out from a really dark background and then carving out this portrait. I would come down here, I think, and add a line lower down for her jawline because this cuts in quite a bit here. So I would make it, let's see if I can get a color that is, I would cut this down into this a bit lower for her jawline. And I'll leave that as add some more orange into this and leave this as a shadowy area. So here would be a bit lower down and added to that area of her face. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here for this time, but thank you so much for joining me today here on my channel. My name is Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland, and I love sharing what I get up to in the studio. So this was fun to make after spending time creating this portrait. So I started off with this one first, and then I've gone on from this drawing kind of sketch with my Persian blue to then working on this piece. So two different approaches that I've at least had out of my system for today, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to tidy up now. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do check out my actual channel and see what else I get up to as well. And as always, I would have loved to spend more time scratching into this in other ways and adding more texture to it as well. So that would have been more fun, and I could do that actually for her neck, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to spoil the smooth texture here. But yeah, this was fun. I'll see you next time, and please find an opportunity to create art yourself. The whole point of my channel, sharing with you, is to encourage you to also play in your studio as well, or whatever space you have to create in, and have fun, because look at the time we've spent on this. I mean, that has taken me away from thinking about other things, just spending time painting, feeling the paint, using different tools, experimenting, to create this, and so I really enjoyed working on this piece after working on this as well. So this was a fun sketch, and then to result in some time doing this painting as well was a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend, and I am off now to have a little bit of a rest, maybe another cup of tea, and then I will get back to what else I have to do for today. So bye for now. Bye.